Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host, Logan Landers, and joining me to talk about the 2021 team preview for the Navy Midshipmen, it's my guy, Jay McLovin. What's up, Jay?
Hey, it's good to be here, man, and talk some midshipman football. You know, I got ties to the Navy and I got ties to the Army, so it's always a pleasure to talk about these guys. But I don't know so much about this year's midshipman team, but you know, they have been in the past.
Of course. I mean, you know, this is a Navy team. This is a team that all these guys are going to go off, and they're not going to be remembered for their football careers, Jay. And of course, we all respect the veterans. We respect you and everyone else who tunes into our program. And of course, we're going to talk about this Navy football team here today. They didn't have the best 2020 season. Hopefully, they can rebound and have a better fortune in 2021. But we'll get into that in just a second. So if you guys enjoy this video here today, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Whether you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitch, we appreciate each and every one of your comments and sharing it to anywhere you can, whether it be on Facebook or any other social media you have. It means the world to us knowing that you're getting the word out there, you're mentioning the show, and we thank you each and every time you do that. Also, please go check out our podcast. We upload daily episodes talking anything and everything football related with our entire cast and crew here at 100 Yards of Football. So please go over there, anywhere you listen to podcasts, give us a review, and just download our latest episodes because there's going to be always something there for you each and every day. All right, Jay, let's get into this one, man. The Navy, let's talk about them, how they're going to do this year. What you think about the midshipmen? How are they going to do?
Well, it's going to be a rough year, honestly. I hate to say that, but it really is. So they got a lot of questions. They got questions at quarterback. You know, I think that position's up for grabs, but there's no real person stepping up for them guys at quarterback, honestly. They're not a very physical team. And they gave up a lot of big runs last year. So they put up about 178 rushing yards per game, a little about 16 points averaging per game. But out of 127 offenses, they ranked 124th, if that gives you an idea of this football team. They struggle to get the blocking going, and they have 3 new starters on the O-line. So their O-line is not going to look anywhere near the same as what it did last year, which honestly, I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing because last year they didn't do all that well anyway. So I think the fullback, if there's one guy that I really like is a fullback, Jamal Carruthers. He's big, or he's not very big, but he is fast. And so he does have ability to get up in there and do good run blocking. So we'll see. But in all honesty, I think the defense, they got steamrolled by BYU, of course. You know, it's BYU. I mean, I can't expect much from the Navy when you watch against BYU, right? But they really did get steamrolled pretty good. So, and that was the start of their season last year. Can you imagine starting against BYU? Man, these guys are just set up for failure all the way around, Logan. But you know, it's Navy. Look, it is what it is. You know, these are defensive, or these are military-minded schools. So that's what I kind of get from that. So I think Army looks pretty good this year, and of course they're going to have to play Army in the Army-Navy game, so that's going to be a big game for those guys, and you know that's always a big game every year. The Navy-Army game, that's about as good as Alabama and Clemson type rivalries, you know. But yeah, Logan, that's kind of what I see right now in that offense. Not a whole lot, man. I think they're going to have their work cut out for them this year, honestly.
Yeah, it is going to be a little bit rough if you're a Navy fan. And like you mentioned, Jay, the rushing game last year was just not on point. And for a team that, you know, for a long time now has just had a triple option, they did not perform well last year. They did have Xavier Arlen come in late last year. He played the last few games. And he looked better at quarterback. I don't know if they're going to go with him to start the season or not. But he did show a little bit of promise. He's 5'9", 165, so he does have a little bit of leanness to him. So I think that might help. And like I said, they do have that triple option that they're known for and that they try and run seemingly every single play. They're not a passing team at all. They've run that option forever. And like you said, they got rid of some guys who were either dismissed or who had to ship off. But they have a few guys coming back who are going to help out. You have Chance Warren, Isaac Ruoff, Daniel Jones, and a few other guys as well who are going to be helping out with that triple option on that offense. So we'll see if they can improve this year. Like it said, it was a little bit of a disappointment last year when they didn't run the ball run as good as they're expected to be. But we'll see how it is because competition gets tougher and tougher each and every year. Unfortunately, 2 of their top blockers graduated also with Peter Nestrowitz and Billy Honecker. So it's up to, their center, Pierce Branbury and Bryce Teixeira, who are the only starters coming back on this line. So you combine, Jay, kind of a lackluster 2020 season with your run offense, and you lose 3 of the 5 guys on your O-line. That's not a good recipe for success coming into this year. We'll see how the defense can do as well. They gave up a good bit of points. They gave up on average, Jay, 37 points and 445 yards in, I believe, 7 games. So that was rough. But to be fair, over the last 3 games, they did improve tremendously. Over the last 3 games, they'll give up 14 points on average and only 246. So for the majority of the season, it was bad. But at the end of the year, they showed a little bit of promise, and they were able to prove that, this defense just had to kind of gel together. And with everything going on last year, maybe that was a sign of things to come. And maybe the defense will kind of come around this year, and we'll see what they can do. So they do have a good bit of returns coming on the defensive side of the ball. So that should help, I think. They have Daniel Fagot, who is a 2-time All-AAC selection. So that is your star on defense right there. He might even be a potential NFL prospect, Jay. I know we talked about the Navy, and they've had, they've had some talent in the past get drafted to the NFL. Roger Staubach might ring a bell for some people out there. So who knows? They might have one in Fagot. And I think that he could be one of the next midshipmen to be in the NFL. What do you think about this defense, Jay? Do you think it's going to kind of continue the dominance it did the last few games? Or are you kind of expecting more of the first 7 games that the Navy team played last year?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like I said, as you know, they struggle to stop the run. They only I think they had 45 tackles for loss in 10 games last year. They don't have a lot of size around the front 3, so they're kind of a smaller team. And like you said, the star of that team is Diego Fagot, or Fagot, however you want to say that name. Then that's their star, and so you got the linebacker. Then that's my defensive player is Fagot. So I think we're gonna get a lot. I really don't see that a big drastic improvement of people. So I think you're gonna get a little bit more of what you had last year. Maybe a little bit better, but I don't expect big things out of this because I don't think they really brought any recruits in that's going to make that big of a difference. So I look more of a little bit the same. Hopefully they just got a little bit more experience under their belt to kind of counteract that. But yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit more of the same, honestly. If the pass rush has to return. They got to be able to get into the backfield. They got to be able to stop the run. They got to be able to convert on defense. They just have to do an all-around better job, honestly, Logan.
Yeah, I think they could. But, Jay, it's time to get into this, man. Like you said, it's time to rip off that Band-Aid, and we got to talk about the schedule. Because head coach, Ken Niumatalolo, he called this upcoming season schedule the toughest Navy has faced in his 14 years as head coach. They faced a total of 8 opponents who've qualified for bowl games in 2020, including Cincinnati, who's the defending AAC champion, and 2-time champ UCF. So let's not forget, though, this team has, in just kind of recent years, in 2018, they went, a 3-10 schedule. But then in 19, they went 11-2. So this is a tough schedule for Navy, Jay. And I mentioned a few games there. I mentioned UCF. I mentioned also Cincinnati. But who else do you have penciled in that will give Navy some fits this upcoming year?
Yeah, obviously you got the clandestines of Cincinnati and Notre Dame. But, like I said, the Army-Navy game is always a really big game. That brings out the most out of both those guys just for the pride factor alone. But I see Army probably going to pull that one out, obviously, for just obvious reasons, really. So I got Army giving them fits, Notre Dame giving them fits, obviously Cincinnati, UCF. I think Houston's going to give them fits. Pretty much I see this team going, 4 and 9, 5-8, 4-9, 5-8, somewhere around that.
Slight improvement. I'll take it.
Yeah,
and I mean, with the
not there's going to be anything. There's going to be a drastic improvement from what they did last year.
And I mean, it's hard to do that, though. I mean, honestly, because they didn't have the best year last year, and then now you're coming into what the head coach has called the toughest schedule in his, almost 15 years as head coach, going up against some great teams like we mentioned: Cincinnati, Notre Dame, Army as well, of course, Memphis, who we just spoke about. SMU is going to give them some trouble, I think. Houston as well. There's not really an easy game on this schedule if you're Navy. They got to be on point in each and every week. And I expect them to play tough. Like you said, it's that military attitude. I think they are going to play tough each and every week. But it's going to be rough, Jay. I think that we might see a repeat of last year with their record. They might get anywhere from, honestly, 3 to 5 wins. I don't see them getting too many just because of that schedule they have. It's rough each and every week. So it is going to be a tougher year for Navy, of course. But who knows, man? Maybe in 2022 they'll get an easier schedule for their time being, and I think it'll be all right. But these are just kind of the growing pains in 2021. So it'll be tough, but I think they're going to have a decent season, and I think that Daniel Fagat, I think he's going to have a good year, and I think that we could be hearing his name called in the NFL pretty soon. I think so. He's one to definitely look out for on this team. Well, Jay, do you have any final thoughts on the Midshipmen before we wrap things up here today?
Yeah, just a couple of keys, like I was saying earlier. The key is they have to run, baby, run. They need to run forever, man. They need to find that 2019 version of when they were averaging around 300 yards. But that line has to be solid in order for that run game to actually even develop. Key on defense, they got pass rush has to return. They had no pressure last year on the quarterbacks, so they're going to have to put pressure on the quarterbacks this year and find some ability to stop the run and convert on third down. But yeah, those are my keys for this team to be somewhat successful at the schedule, especially at the tough schedule they got coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit rough for Navy this year, but I think that as long as they have that winning attitude and everything like that, I think they'll get through it. And it's going to be tough, but I think we are going to see a good bit of flashes of brilliance from this team. I think they are going to get their triple option back a little bit, and hopefully they can improve. Just like you said, even if it's just by another win or two from last year, that's all you can ask for really any team in college football. Well, if you guys have enjoyed this content here today, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Whether you're watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, we appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in each and every week, watching our shows, liking, commenting, and sharing to all of your groups. It means the world to us. Also, if you've not done so already, please go listen to our podcast. We're available each and everywhere you can really listen to podcasts, like Spotify here, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible now with your Amazon account, or really just, anywhere you want to listen to podcasts, Google Podcasts, or anything else I can think of, we are there. That's thanks to the Believe Podcast Network. We upload stuff each and every day, whether it be these team previews, legends interviews, history specials with our guy, Mr. Football Vincent Turner. And that's brought to you by our great cast and crew here at 100 Yards Football. It's myself. Jay McLovin comes on each and every Wednesday, does his best to talk about some football. And so is our guy, Mr. Football Vincent Turner, the head honcho of our show, our amazing producer, Jeremiah Long, former FSU legend, I like to call him, and Atlanta Falcon for 12 years, first-round pick, Bobby Butler, and, of course, one of the best coaches throughout the entire state of Georgia, our guy, Kevin the Bull Jones. That is our cast and crew for 100 Yards of Football. We work hard each and every week to give you guys the best football content. We thank you guys so much for tuning in. And thanks to you once again, Jay McLovin, for coming on the show, talking about the Navy Midshipmen today. I've been your host, Logan Landers, and stay tuned because we got another amazing team preview for you in just a little bit. See you then.